because these things happen. People aren't reporting these people. The state has to take care of it. So guess what the state does? The state charges more to these insurance companies to be able to be in the state. And
man, it's getting scary to talk with Edwin here. Back in the day, it used to be all about relationship. You know, then at one point, I don't know, it changed. You know, people got busy.
Yeah.
But I feel like now it's coming back.
Go look into the camera right now and say, like, if you are the home inspector who thinks you're the best home inspector out there,
yes,
you're not. Right?
Because you are. All right. Hello, everybody. Episode 20, XR Podcast is our 20th episode. I don't know if it's the last one for the year, but we got two special guests. We have Edwin Moreno with LR Windsor Insurance. Welcome. And we have Tim Wojnar with Home Inspection Geeks. Welcome, guys. Great to have you here.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Tim. Tim, you're Home Inspection Geeks. Clever name.
I'm glad we're finally doing this.
Yeah, we met you.
I think Tim's been asking me, like, hey, let's do something the past year.
Yeah.
We met him at
I'm very persistent, right?
You are. I like that. It's all about being persistent.
He's really
You
good.
know, and I like Greg and Frank's energy, like from the moment I met you guys too. But yeah, like we met, I think, at a networking event.
Yeah.
And
but we talked before, like online.
yeah, we've talked about I love Greg's content. He
Thank you.
is such a hustler and just like has such a good energy about him. And that's I want to surround myself more with those people. So yeah, we were talking about the podcast. Obviously, like I own a home inspection company here in the city. So we've been around 7 years. The name of the company is Home Inspection Geeks. Talking a little bit like when I was forming the company, like I was an engineer in my other life. I'm like, I just need to have a pocket protector on our logo.
So you worked for like a corporate company or something?
Yeah, I worked in engineering. I actually did a lot of, helped design nuclear power plants.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's pretty intense.
it sounds more exciting than it actually is. There's
the
like a lot
the
of-
geeks and Home Inspection Geeks make sense now. So yeah.
For me, it's like I want to be out facing with customers, right?
Yeah.
And talking to people, and that's more my personality. So I started kind of the transition from engineering to doing the home inspection side of things, and I think the geeks, like actually I saw a Geek Squad car. I'm just like, wow, that would be cool to kind of incorporate that, and that kind of plays into like me,
exactly.
Going into
But
it.
with
So-
the background of engineer, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
With the background of engineers, like, you got like that, everything about a house. Like you're more like, you're always about like, hey, I want to know the ins and outs. You're not just reading a script, a book.
Yeah.
And just going there, what you read,
I think that's like the engineering side of me that came out. It's like, I was already just like, I love to learn how things work.
Yeah.
Right.
It was an easy transition.
It was an easy transition. Yeah. From doing the inspection side of things, business, I was learning, a ton of, different things. And now we're, four inspectors, strong, trying to grow and dealing with all like the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I've learned, and I'm, enjoying that part. But, just enjoying learning the industry and like what the needs are, and really, getting to meet people like that. That's really where my heart is.
So how long you guys been around then?
So 7 years.
7 years?
7 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started in 2016.
So you've seen ups and downs already. The
Yeah,
past 7 years.
yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of shifting in the market, and like we saw like, COVID hit where there was just like the stop, and then all of a sudden just everything bursted open.
Yeah.
And just dealing with all that stuff, and like, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like looking back, maybe I like, didn't know what was happening, but it's just like, meeting those challenges.
Correct.
Too, and there's always opportunity that comes.
Of course,
from that, too, as
100%.
well.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've been around 7 years. We go all over the Chicagoland area. We're starting a handyman side of the business too. Just realizing there's a need for that, and like
Big time.
Inspections happen. There's little things that need to be fixed, or even when you guys are trying to list a property. Hey, maybe there's just that ugly light fixture. You're like, that has to go. This has to go.
Pre-listing and even post-listing.
Yeah,
right?
and even post-listing. Yes.
Like I saw some of your packages. Like I could offer like a client, let's say, to buy a house, they have a bunch of stuff to fix, and I could call you and give them as a gift too.
Yeah, maybe exactly. Yeah, I mean, like we've been talking to realtors about, hey, we'll include this in our listing package because that way, hey, you're getting little things. And you've been to inspections, right? I mean, there's tons of things that come up, and most of the things are minor, right?
Absolutely.
It just almost feels like you're getting dinged on the little stuff, So have it fixed up and have the house looking really good, because that gives them less to complain about after the buyers have their inspections.
I agree
as well.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a big big thing for us is just being that full service for our clients and really, just going to the next level. Because I see the company not just being a home inspection company, but a full service company for homeowners. That's my big vision, is
like that.
really be the premier service company in the Chicagoland area.
That makes sense.
Too, as well. So,
You help the banks and clients with 2 or 3K loans,
yeah,
right?
so I'm
Something like
a
that?
certified HUD consultant.
So that's hard to find.
Yeah, that's usually what happens with those is they just start calling people, gets overwhelming. Like, you know what, let's just forget this.
Yeah.
So-
And it's a complicated process, right?
Yeah, so usually people just give up on it.
Yeah, I mean, like renovations in general are
that's-
complicated, right? And, really from my experience, it's just because either people underestimate what the renovation is
Sure.
going to cost, or, they're trying to do it for cheap, right? At the end of the day. I think that applies to not just doing under a loan, right?
Yeah.
But if you're doing a renovation on your house, you try to do it cheap sometimes, but if a contractor is just giving you a cheap quote and written on a napkin or one number too, it's what level of detail are they going to provide for you, and how timely are they going to be, right? Because time is money.
Yeah,
when it comes to
it's just
this.
well, for the average person, it's not something they do every day, so they don't know. Okay, call this person, this person, this person. They call someone out of the blue. The guy wants money up front. They're like, okay, might
No,
no,
but
this
that's
guy
why-
10 grand. You know what I mean? So
Right. But that's why us realtors, that's why we're here, and we have a good inspector that does multiple stuff,
Yeah.
offers multiple services. That's better for us because our client,
Yeah.
it's a one how you say one stop, one shop.
Yeah, one-stop
one-stop
shop.
shop.
One-stop shop,
Full
right.
service.
Yeah, and then we got Edwin here does insurance. And you got.
I'm sure Edwin can
so-
talk about general contractors, he does some YouTube stuff on
Oh.
insurance and whatnot.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, Edwin Moreno, I'm with LR Windsor. I'm a risk management advisor, and which would be the technical title. So I help people assess what their risk is, find out what coverages they need, be it that they're investors or they're business owners. I've been in the insurance business now for 14 years, going on 15. And I own my own independent agency.
Okay.
So I started with it was Winmore Insurance Solutions, and had a partner. Went through the ups and downs of having a partnership, and learned a lot in the process, and learned that what, I believe in it. I think partnerships can be very profitable if everything's on the table and we have a clear understanding of what we're looking to do.
Are you doing risk management for the company or for individual? Let's say I call you and I have a project and you tell me what's the risk.
Yeah, sure. That's
Just
a
for
great.
the public to understand.
No, yeah, that's a great.
Yeah,
That's a,
sometimes we use all these fancy words, right? But people don't even know.
right. No, that's a
What
great.
you're talking about.
That's a
these
great.
guys,
I love that. No, that's a great
Yeah.
question. I like how you worded it too. If I have if you have a project, right? So
Yeah,
it's
I got a project.
let's say you have a project and you're purchasing this vacant property.
Yeah.
Right. So the first step is, how are you insuring the land, the vacant
Okay.
land, or how are you insuring the actual vacant structure that you
Okay.
purchase, right? So how are you making sure that if something were to happen, someone breaks in and they get injured because they broke in, you're
Okay.
liable for that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that's the assessment that we go over. And then you let me know, okay, yeah, that matters to me. So
Okay.
let's get the vacant
So it's
policy.
almost like a custom policy.
You could say that, yeah. And then you could say, hey, I have a contractor
Okay.
that I'm going to hire.
Okay.
Then I'm going to ask you, do they have their own insurance?
Okay.
And you're going to say, I don't know. Okay, well, ask them if they have their own insurance.
Yeah, Frank, did you ask for some of the rehabs we've done?
That's fun. Yeah, that's fun. So, well, that's the conversation, because sometimes that matters to people, sometimes it doesn't, right? It's like, hey,
No, of
look,
course.
I have the cash in the bank. If this
Yeah.
thing burns down, I'm okay with it.
Doesn't care.
So if you're willing to take that risk, at least we have a risk assessment, right? And we have a conversation
that.
about it to see
Yeah.
if it matters.
Okay.
And then, what's a certificate of insurance? You might say, hey, how do I see that they have insurance? Okay, well, ask for a certificate.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're a certificate holder. They could send it to me. We could store it inside our CRM so that we have record of it.
Yeah.
So that's part of going over a project,
Yeah.
just to kind of
But
sum it
sometimes
up.
if somebody's doing a big project, and there's bank involved and loans, then definitely you need to be in there.
Absolutely.
You can't just, you know what I mean?
No,
Like if
no,
we're
no.
doing a little, whatever, apartment fix up, their friend calls somebody on, I don't know where he called them from. But we don't need nobody,
Right.
taking the risk. But
Right,
something
right.
like huge, big.
Well, right, there's collateral, right? There's collateral involved where they're
Yeah.
like, hey, look, we need to make sure that this loan is secured. Or
Yeah.
what about you? If something happens to you, how do we
Makes
make
sense.
sure that we get our money?
Makes sense.
All those
Fun.
conversations are
Nice,
conversations I have.
And Edwin actually covers our businance insurance. So
Oh,
I,
yeah.
yeah, so I've been through it with Edwin. And it's just like
what's something that would go really bad?
vehicles and our guys are driving, to places
Yeah.
or having coverage, in case someone gets in an accident going there. So, what Edwin's really good is just like really
What if
talking
one of
about-
your guys? Sorry, that's right. what if one of your guys get? I mean, it could happen, right?
Yeah.
They get
Oh, yeah.
they get pissed off with a client, start having fist fight, like that kind of stuff is covered too. Right?
Well, I mean, that's
Yeah, and
that's part
He's like,
of.
wait a minute, wait. Is
Look,
that,
no. Look, that's part of your employment practices, right? That's
Yeah.
part of
Because it
that's part of
happens.
your liability too. So
It
yeah,
happens.
there
I
are.
have tenants that, I don't know, they were not, one lived in first floor, one lived in second floor, and all of a sudden they start fighting, and the police came and all that kind of stuff.
Well, right. So they fight, and then they fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, there should have been a railing
And I
here.
own that property, yeah.
And then it's like, hey.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's how the ladder
how it
starts.
works.
That's how they look at these policies.
And
Okay,
then
great.
Illinois is an attorney state. They love.
Oh yeah, they're gonna dig in as
They-
much
they
as they
love
could.
to
You know,
dig
what's the limit? Oh, 2 million. Let's
Let's go for it.
Let's go for the 2 million.
Yeah.
There's so much risk as a business owner or an
know.
investor, because
I know.
like the things that you're not even thinking about,
Correct.
You
Yeah.
know, it can really do you
Correct.
in. Edwin,
Yeah.
who will really walk you through all
Correct.
that stuff, too, and also thinking about when you're hiring a general contractor, what are they covered for, right?
Yeah,
too, as
that's
part
true.
of that, right?
That's
I mean,
true.
if they're doing things cheap, like what kind of coverage? Because they mess up something in your house, right? Maybe they catch fire to the house, or
Yeah.
do something that they shouldn't be doing. Like who's gonna pay for that
Yeah.
end, right? And if they're not insured, if they're probably not profitable as a business either.
Right.
Where you go really sue them off.
Well,
of, right?
workers' comp law is one of the craziest, I would say scenarios, or just workers' comp claims are one of the craziest scenarios I've seen where people don't understand. Either they owe a lot of money because they open a workers' comp policy thinking, I don't have any employees, so I just get this policy so I can get contracts.
Okay.
And then they hire these subcontractors that don't have their own workers' comp, so now you owe the carrier a bunch of money when you get audited. They don't realize that they need to,
Wow.
go through an audit. So I've seen a case where someone was doing satellite dish installations and they're just hiring people. Workers' comp company came back and said, hey, where's your proof of coverage for these contractors? Oh, I don't have it. Okay, here, you owe us $90,000.
Wow.
Right? So now, I mean, it's a debt. It's your EIN number is tied to that. That follows you everywhere you
a
go.
lien, exactly.
Right. So, and then there's the cases where you hire people and you're like, well, I didn't know I had to cover them. I just hired them to help me with like some patchwork really quick.
But they become employee, right?
They become employees as soon as
Employee,
as
right.
soon as
They're
as soon
not
as they do
self-employed unless
No.
you have them as a
as it's
self-employed,
even if
1099.
they're 1099, if they did not give you proof that they have their own coverage, technically you're liable. If you
Technically,
paid them,
okay.
if you paid them to do a task for your organization or for your home,
Okay.
or whatever it is, that exchange makes you liable
Makes
if they
you
get
liable.
injured.
Interesting.
And that's what I see a lot of. And then people wonder, why are rates so high? Well, because of claims like that.
Times like that. Yeah.
Because these things happen, people aren't reporting these people. The state has to take care of it. So guess what the state does? The state charges more to these insurance companies to be able to be in the state. And
Man, it's getting scary to talk with Edwin here.
Tim, you want to tell us more about? You want to tell us more about the chimney?
hey, wake up, folks.
Hey, guys, do not worry.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The more you know, the less you fall into the trap.
Yeah.
So that's all it is.
No, we appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm with
No, it's
you.
good. It's good to have a partner up with good people
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
decide to understand what happens. There's a lot of stuff that plays around, especially when you're self-employed.
Well, yeah.
have your own business.
Well, right. Well, the last thing you want is everything you work hard for.
All of a sudden,
All of a sudden,
yeah.
I had someone, look, I have a lot of stories. This
Yeah,
is
I like this.
Hey, you got
All right,
candy
all right.
ones. This
All right,
is
look.
like getting depressed over
That's
here.
good. I don't know. It's good. This is well, no, actually, this isn't a good one. So I guess
Just
you're
say
gonna
it
get more
happy
depressed
times.
right now.
Just tease it.
Just say it
Let's
a
hear
happy
it.
tone.
Well, all right. So look. So there was a gentleman who had his best friend working for him. Right.
Okay.
This is an auto repair shop, small mom and pop shop.
Okay.
So this is my best friend. Nothing's gonna happen. Fingers get slammed while he's working on a car. He can't work. So he's like, hey, compa, right?
Yeah,
I can't
compa,
work.
yeah.
What am I gonna do? I don't have work comp.
I need money. Yeah.
Yeah, I need money. I don't have work comp. Well, I'm gonna have to sue you.
Wow.
Right.
There goes Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
So now compa is suing compa,
Yeah.
and the relationship is damaged when you could have just had a policy.
Yeah.
Where, hey, look, that's what it's for. It's just make the claim. It's an investment for your
But
business.
okay, so my question, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So if this guy, because compa, right, he
Right.
went to his insurance guy.
Right.
You know, a lot of people don't know sometimes, right? And he's like, hey, I need insurance. I run a mechanic shop. I have
Right.
two guys that work for me. I
Right.
give them a paycheck. The insurance guy maybe didn't told him that he needed a working comp. He just like, okay, let's do a policy for the building.
Right.
You
Right.
know, for a client if you
Right.
break their car, and that's it.
Right. Go
And
after the insurance
and he didn't
guy.
add the working comp.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Certain stuff like he
Right.
didn't told him about it.
Right.
That does happen all the time.
It happens a lot. It happens more than you think it does, and people don't know what to do. And I go after the
And I
insurance
feel like
agent.
you know when I like
Oh,
we
you go
sign,
after
Go after the insurance agent. That's what they have. That's what they have errors and omissions policies for.
we sign insurance like me and myself too. I sign insurance on a bunch of properties that I have, and you think I read every single thing? I
No.
trust the guy. I'm
Right.
all about trust the guy.
Right.
That's
Right.
how I live.
Right.
Well, even us, we do real estate contracts. They don't. It's 13 pages. No one's reading it.
Right.
We tell them, okay, this,
They
this
trust
is what.
us.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, you
right.
know.
And that's what happens where agents sometimes it's scary to say, hey, look, you're gonna have to pay a little more, but at least I'm letting you know. If you don't want to, you don't want to. But let's talk about this.
But I guess
right?
some agents just want to wrap up the deal.
Right, like-
and do that policy.
Yeah,
and not
let's-
scare them.
And you
Let's
would
get
think
this done. I don't want you to leave me or shop me out
I get
because you
it.
think I want to. And that happens
I get
so
it.
much where the consumer's like, hey,
They don't educate.
No.
They're not educated.
no.
Well, plus
No.
it's like,
All right.
you know, you have policies that you don't even need, right?
Well, that
It's
happens a
like-
lot too.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you're shopping at like, I'll draw this back to like home inspection stuff,
Yeah.
right? Too. It's like, okay, you know, like for policies, like, are they selling you stuff you don't need because they're not doing that due diligence,
Correct.
right? Like for home inspections, it's just like things are gonna pop up during an inspection,
Correct.
right? Like they're always gonna pop up, and it's how you kind of like, you know, put it and phrase it, right? It's like, okay, there's gonna be a lot of small handyman things that you
Yeah.
have to do. I mean, that's
Yeah.
also why we're starting that, because like, okay, some people want those repaired, but it's like, what are the major items you're really looking for? And even after that, like, you know, what are the next steps to do something
Correct.
about that, right?
Have you got people that went after you? Like, hey, you didn't tell me about this boiler, and now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
broke. I just came in.
Yeah, I mean, like,
You know,
I think
dude, F you. I want my money back. Or something. No, for real.
Yeah,
That's clear.
Well, yeah,
That's
real-
right. I mean, I get it too. Like,
real
oh,
talk, you
I
know?
mean,
Right.
I
Yeah,
had one
right.
just this week, and there's like, oh, I actually went there. Whatever. Like, oh yeah, there's all this stuff the inspector didn't catch. I'm
Yeah.
like,
But what
they
have
didn't
you
make a
got-
big
have you-
deal. But it's like,
Have you used your policy to?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Have you used your policy to like help the consumer?
We actually, I don't think we've ever had an insurance claim, right?
Okay, you
it's
never
there,
had an insurance claim. Okay.
It's there if we need it, right?
Okay.
But most of the time, like, sometimes it's on the report.
I had a
Actually, don't
situation
report,
where I'll give you a quick
Yeah.
example. There was snow in the driveway.
yeah,
Gentleman did inspection. Everything was fine. Of course, then winter goes away. Snow smelled. The client comes back. My driveway, I need a brand new driveway. You know, I come like, what do you mean? There's snow in the report, and it didn't say the driveway was all chipping and the cement was cracked. So now they're going, cement driveway could be like 20 grand.
Right.
yeah.
You know, especially with labor that went up this year, maybe 30.
Right.
You know, depending how big it is,
I mean, but that's,
And they were they put, the inspector had to put a
I
claim.
mean,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, maybe he skipped something on the report, didn't write it correctly. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
mean, for that, like, what we would do is we'd say this is a limitation, right? So,
Yeah,
like,
like,
for inspections, it's a visual inspection, right?
Okay.
I mean, we're doing a little bit more, like, we're opening up the electrical panel, opening up HVAC,
Yeah.
things, but yeah, we can't see behind walls.
Yeah.
If there's
Yeah.
snow on the roof or that,
But we still got to
to
watch out. You never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, like, I think a lot with the claims, it's like a lot of the times, I would say like 95% of the times, it's like stuff that we did do wrong, right?
Yeah.
It just, the expectation of the clients now, right? I'm paying this much for inspection. It's going to catch every single
Yeah.
last item.
Yeah.
Like when we're there, we're trying to catch the biggest items that we can.
Correct.
While, that we can visibly see at the time. We can't see through snow if there's snow on the roof, which happens a lot. It's going to happen a lot during, like, our policy is like, we'll come back out after it melts, like,
Yeah.
if you want us to check it out, but it's a limitation
Yeah.
at the time
Yeah.
of inspection. So, yeah, like what we would have done is we would have document, hey, there's snow and there's certain things we can't see.
I think it's sometimes just an expectation. They feel like, oh,
Yeah.
it's almost like they're getting like a brand new car. Like,
Yeah.
just because it's working that day, it could go tomorrow.
But these are the expectation in this new world.
Yeah.
I mean, new world.
I know,
This
but you
era,
gotta tell
2022.
them like it could go out tomorrow.
Listen.
it could go out tomorrow. Just
Look
like
at the recent NAR lawsuit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The seller signed, that they got to pay the buyer agent. You know, I'm going off topic. I'm talking about, but and they still won, right? The sellers won that, like, hey, I didn't know I had to pay the buyer agent.
Yeah, but it is.
And it's on the contract.
It's on the
signed
contract.
it.
That's
So
yeah,
the same thing.
I don't know
like,
who the,
I'm just saying.
like how else would you tell them? You gotta like
My
record
point-
yourself telling them.
They still lost. That means they were in default. My point is that whatever even in writing now, it's not 100%. It's not black and white. So sometimes having like somebody like Edwin to insure you, to protect you is important.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he might say like, oh, it's limited what I see. But hey, maybe a judge and a jury is going to say,
Right.
you're wrong, Mr. Tim.
Yeah.
It's not what you see, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying.
You could do everything right.
You can do everything
No,
right.
they're well, right. They're suing.
You know?
They're suing. Social media influencers have their own insurance now. Like
Yeah,
there is
of
a
course.
social
They're
media
against that.
influencer professional
There goes
liability
the
policy,
podcast.
right? Well, it's because some people are like, hey, try this, or I'm doing
Well, that's
this.
true. I mean,
But that's when they're
you know,
selling stuff.
yeah, they're selling. I mean, if you're telling people like max out the credit cards, do this, I'll take that money and go.
Right.
I
Or
mean,
even if they're not directly, but if that's the example that they're setting,
I mean, they're giving health information.
All the above.
Don't eat. Don't do this.
Now you get like the the disclaimer up front, right? I'm not a health professional and other stuff going into all these.
Yeah,
you know,
don't listen to
like,
anything I say. Anyway, by the way, if
Yeah.
you want to lose
Right.
this much weight,
Don't listen to me, but
You just got to watch out. You just don't.
I agree. I agree.
I just don't. You know, I mean, anything can happen.
And like
Yeah.
I think a
You know?
point for business owners too is just like when we do get a complaint, like I take it seriously, right?
Of course.
And you talk
You
to
should.
them, and like a lot of times it's just like people are going through stuff in their own lives,
course.
right?
Oh, that's
you know,
true.
and
There's stuff going on.
You know, whether it's relationships or
Yeah.
maybe they had death in the family, and then now this happens, and they're emotional. Like
Yeah.
the biggest thing I always do is like, you just listen, right? And
Yeah.
you know, obviously, okay, there's going to be someone who's just so pissed off that they may come after you, but like.
Yeah.
A lot of problems go away when you're there and you're empathetic.
Yeah, and that's why you guys are a little bit different from the average inspector, right? You listen the client even when he's there, right?
Yeah, it's all personal.
you don't.
skills,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because some inspector out there, they have ego issues, and nothing wrong. I love all inspector, but some have issues.
Yeah.
he loves
Or
all-
ego issues.
Loves all inspectors.
I'm gonna look into the camera right now and say, like, if you are the home inspector who thinks you're the best home inspector out there,
Yes.
you're not, right?
Because you are.
That's right.
Well, it's just like everyone has different skill sets. Everyone comes from the home inspection field, and just like there's a lot of knowledge out there. And honestly, there's always more to learn out there.
Yeah.
It's such a vast
Well,
field.
I think a lot's with the delivery, like you said. I mean, I think that's an advantage now that you're doing the home handyman service, right? Because a lot of times they just get bombarded with a list, no idea what the cost is. Oh, now I got to find someone to do all this stuff. They're told, oh, this should be like this, this should be like that. It's probably been like that for 40 years, but they're kind of in the dark sometimes because the home inspector, they don't want no liability either. Like, well, I can give you a price. Like, how much do you think that would cost? Like,
So
I
that means
can't
your
say.
inspector's not explaining. a
Well,
lot,
yeah,
right?
and we disclaim that right up front, right?
Oh, yeah.
It is a
I'm just-
conflict of interest, and it just like, but you know, per the state is just like, yeah, you as long as you disclaim it, right? Hey, we did this inspection. It's kind of up to you. Like, I don't want to overstep any bounds, right? That the
Correct.
clients, but we do get asked, right? We get asked like, hey,
But-
can we do this
Yeah.
stuff?
No, I get it. But sometimes I feel like, some clients could miss some opportunities as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they got scared, because of certain,
Oh yeah.
how an inspector told them.
Yeah.
A certain item,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Deal breakers. Yeah. Like,
A deal breaker, yeah.
yeah. I've been, and it, like,
Like electric panel, for example, like it's not a completely deal breaker. With
Yeah,
a
you
couple
gotta-
thousand, you could replace it. And maybe an inspector scared you and told them like
Yeah, the house guy. They think like the house guy.
the house is going to
I
be
mean,
on fire.
how I put it, some people spend more on a refrigerator than furnace, electric panel. Some
That's
people
right.
spend 10 grand on a
Absolutely.
refrigerator.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Especially the
it's
bedroom.
almost like an appliance now. Like
Well-
it's not like, oh, the foundation, it's going to cost you 30 grand. It's
Right.
yeah.
2 grand, 3 grand. A furnace is maybe a little
it's
more.
about
but-
respect. Like our job is not to point out all the defects. Like we're there to find the defects.
No, we want you
But
to.
you want to find all the
yeah.
defects. Like our main job is to provide perspective of the house,
Yeah.
right? And like if we're finding things that have an old house problem, but there's a new roof, we need to point out, hey, there's a new roof here too.
Yeah.
For what you're looking at, like you have to take all those things into consideration, right? I mean, most furnaces are going to be old, so like, what are the positives that you're getting with the house? not just like, okay, here, it's about painting the whole picture, right?
Correct.
For them at the end of the day.
And you gotta.
Is there? Well, I wanted to ask: is there like an age of a furnace where you can't sell this house if the furnace is this?
There's not.
There, no.
I've seen
Oh,
some.
wow.
I asked for.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
Unless it's leaking carbon monoxide.
That's your lane. Like for us, it's like, I mean, technically like around 20 years is the average, but it's like make, model, like there's so many different factors.
Well,
Dude, I got one 50 years old.
Yeah.
50,
Yeah.
50.
I mean, it's still running like, it's
You
still
know?
running
If
strong.
it's still
Well,
running.
But that's the thing. Maybe that guy, don't get me wrong, but maybe that guy, you tell him, oh, it's 20 years, the guy get bent out of shape, doesn't have a lot of money to spend to replace the furnace. All of a sudden he calls the agent, Frank, I want to cancel the deal.
Yeah.
Right? And he cancels the deal. Because, don't get me wrong, not you, but some inspector maybe won't want to explain it like how
like,
much
hey,
it was.
there could be one with 30 years.
Yeah, it could be 30 years.
And-
You never know. And then the guy loses a house, and guess what? Then the house is worth 50,000 more in 6 months.
Well, a lot of times what happens, a lot of times,
So do
what-
the math.
well,
that's a
that,
good
and then a
point.
lot of times what happens with guys
good
like,
point.
I don't want to say guys like that. I mean, if there's something wrong with the house, and you're uncomfortable, don't buy it. But a lot of times it's like, okay, this guy's he's pointing out everything. You know what's gonna happen? So he did the home inspection, the rate on it. It's probably like $600-700 an inspection. You know what happens? Okay, maybe the haggle doesn't give you one. Oh, it's cancel. Goes to another house, gets another laundry list, another $700-800, and he's like, well, whatever. I don't, because now he's just spending all money. I mean,
I guess I'll
you're
take
like,
this.
well, it's just like, okay, it's the same. It's the same story, different cast. Like, okay,
Right.
different house, not the exact same problems, but and more or less the same. And now you're just like, okay, well, am I gonna cancel again? Now I'm 1,500 in inspections. No offense to you, it's good for you, but but that's just how we're gonna put. I'm like, I can't tell the guy don't worry about it because then. You know what's going to happen around the corner. Something else is going to break.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it just,
So I'm just saying, to Greg's point, like sometimes they got to realize on their own. I tell them right out of the game, like every house has 15 things. So just be prepared.
And
You're
it's
gonna-
not just
Right.
like,
Right,
Another thing
right.
I want inspectors to listen to is like, it's not just about what you're reporting. You don't know like what neighborhood, all the stuff that you guys.
Oh, yeah,
know
like
that's
what the
going-
price is.
The price and like
Yeah.
maybe that's like, hey, there's a lot of reasons that
Yeah.
house has sentimental value. So
I-
it's a big
yeah.
picture thing.
Yeah, my big thing I ask is just, hey, be real with them. Tell them all the negative and tell them all the positive. Don't leave the positive out and emphasize on the negative.
Yeah.
That's my big thing because then the clients can miss out on that house. Then all of a sudden the rates go up.
Right.
All of a sudden the prices go up.
Well,
and then all of a sudden I had it happen to me. A year passed by and the client's buying the same exact house, probably with similar problems, and now he's going to pay 8% instead of 5%.
Right.
And you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just we gotta educate. I guess we gotta educate. The
It's-
people
it's-
more.
it's-
Like if you don't properly educate during the inspection, it's doing a disservice to the client.
yeah, I agree.
At the
I
end of
agree.
the day.
I like one example. I had an inspection with you guys, the Home Geeks here.
Yeah.
Recently, and it was really cool because the client, we did inspection, everything. Your guy was cool, and then the client's like, "Hey, I'm all freaking out about the sewer system. I don't know what's going on. I watch some YouTube channel and." Because people, that's okay. And they're like, I watch YouTube. Can you put a
Classic.
camera? Yeah, can you put a camera?
Hey, we're on YouTube. We're gonna be on
Right.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
Most of the time, a lot of inspectors, they don't do multiple stuff.
There you
So
go.
they don't do multiple stuff. So what happens, not doing multiple stuff, when they don't do multiple service, they'll tell the consumer, like, hey, I'm sorry, you got to call another guy.
Right.
Instead, his guy, man, he's like, oh, I'll be right back.
Right.
He went to get the camera,
Yeah, the scope.
and he did it right there.
Right,
Boom.
right.
I'm like, man, I was impressed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I was
That's
impressed.
awesome.
Well, it's just like, full service. It's like.
That's why you're here today.
Yeah.
We closed the he closed the turn review. He's like, Frank, let's call Carlos. Schedule the pass.
Hey, I'm real.
Hey,
I like that.
they just
appreciate
signed
the
off.
honesty,
Schedule the podcast.
I like, yeah, that's so
14.
good. That's so good.
Well, we're just
That's
talking
so
about
good.
expectations too, and just like people have like more expectations of what an inspection is, and like the typical inspection, we're not looking down the.
I
same.
like you trying to do more stuff.
Yeah.
Because
I
if
agree.
a person comes to me and like, hey, Craig, you buy? I'm like, yeah, buy and sell. They're all of a sudden they ask me a question. Can you rent my apartment? Oh, no, I can't do it. Call the guy across the street. No. I have to say, yeah, don't worry. We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm in real estate.
Yeah.
I got to do it all.
Yeah.
And so why not? You have to.
Well, everyone wants to have that guy, right? Like the guy.
Well, I was a consumer in having Home Inspection
Yeah.
Geeks do the inspection of my home before we
Okay.
purchased the home.
Oh, let's share this experience.
Look at
Well, let me tell you.
laughing.
Terrible. No. Well, no. Really, the education piece through the whole process is something that I don't know if that's normal, but the more I ask people, I guess it's not really normal. Of someone like walking me through, hey, look, this don't worry about, but you want to do something about this. You know what I mean? Like this,
Like throughout
these
showings
windows
or at the inspection.
at the inspection.
What about showings? Like, was there a realtor telling you stuff?
Well, yeah, I would say my realtor was on. Yeah, she was
pointing
yeah,
stuff out.
she was a beast. I mean, she was on point. She was like, hey, look, this is why you want to do this. This is why you don't.
that's good.
Or like, this is, hey, I know you like this, but this
But
is
watch
why I
out.
don't like it. You
It's
know,
lumpy,
just my
structure.
opinion. Exactly, just
That's
my
really
opinion.
good.
Yeah.
Like, some realtors don't even do that.
Well, no, I mean that's I experienced that too,
Yeah.
where I had a realtor that was just like, yeah, here's
open the door.
here it is, check it
Yeah.
out. What do you think? You know, it's
Yeah.
like, well, no, what do you think? I want to hear you see
that's
homes
why I
all
hear
the
you.
time. That's why you're
That's why
supposed
you're
to,
here. I wanna
right?
do it on my own.
Exactly,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the process of someone telling me, hey, these windows, you might want to do something about these windows.
Yeah.
You know, just whenever you get a chance, but make these a priority. These not so much, but
Don't
make
worry.
don't worry about it. Or hey, look down here, these pipes they work great, but you
Well,
want
they're
to
galvanized instead of copper.
I
They
mean,
might have water pressure.
all
issue,
that
yeah.
all that information through the inspection was something that it's actually helped us put projects like what do we do first,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
What do we focus
that's
on
cool.
and put our money right? So, Home Inspection
Okay.
Geeks, they did a decent
All
job. They're
yeah,
they're all right.
We'll see. We'll see. We're still early.
let's see.
Step by step.
That's our slogan. Decent job.
Okay, so Edwin, you do like insurance, so landlord insurance policy, right? There's some risk. Now on the commercial side, like we got this place, and then like what if it's a landlord? Or like how much are we responsible on the commercial side for something? Because
Okay, this is what's going on. Frank is a recently
I'm asking for a friend.
I think he's a
Right. I kind of scared him a bit. Yeah. Okay.
Long story short,
Right.
We have this building, everything. We set up the real estate next door.
Right.
We finally got a good tenant,
Okay.
and it's going to be a tamale guy.
Okay.
Really nice. We're excited.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Tamale
the
here.
second location. He
Yeah.
specializes in tamales. So we're here. We'll see when he opens.
Okay,
Specializes
all
in
right.
tamales, and we're excited
Right.
for him.
Tamale, yeah.
That's
so Frank,
fun.
I think, got scared.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame him. Well, side note.
That's why Tim's likes me. He had good stories.
the
the
buffer.
handyman.
Yeah.
You're over there.
Point out some things like
You're over
watch
there.
out.
My fingers got smashed. They hate each other. Best friends.
Well, watch what I'm about to say about this tenant. But before I go there, side note, I have an empanada business I'd love to share with y'all.
Empanada.
Yeah. Talking about tamales, I have empanadas. Yeah.
Oh, insurance and empanadas.
Insurance and
Oh,
empanadas.
go hand in
So I have,
wait.
good stories, some happy stories.
yes.
too.
Let's
maybe
scrap
we
this
could rent him
insurance
a little
talk.
spot in the back. You can make up on
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you never know.
We're all about passive
Give me-
income.
give
We
me-
could cut.
Give me a
We could
commercial
give you.
kitchen.
We could give you 2 days in
Give me a
here.
commercial kitchen back there. We're good to go.
Not a problem.
Yeah, we got a kitchen.
All right, cool. All right.
I'm sure it passed
Kitchen-
insurance
all right.
standards.
Well, that's what. So that's
here we
something.
go.
That's something to consider. The
Okay.
insurance. So we'll start with the insurance for it. You're responsible for the premise liability, right? So
Elaborate.
So what I would say is the premises is in front of the building, around the building,
okay.
the back of the
Could do with that.
building,
Okay.
right? Someone walks in, someone walks out. Technically, they could sue you if something happens. If they
So
slip,
we got to
fall.
remove their snow.
So you
Like
got to
somebody go.
Yeah, unless it's in the lease. If it's in the lease that hey, you
Okay.
are responsible for removing the snow in the front. I mean, if you have a contract, but like you said earlier, contracts sometimes.
Taking notes here for
You know,
I'm trying to remember the lease.
Yeah.
so roll it through the phone.
Yeah.
What do I need the handshake?
Yeah.
Is the handshake?
Verbal
You know
agreement.
what? If that's
No, I'm joking.
if that's what you want to do, that's what I wouldn't advise that as an insurance professional.
No, but,
but no.
but that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So responsible, depending on what we have in the lease, but
Yeah, and just your policy, make sure that it says what occupies the premise. Because sometimes you'll get an insurance policy, say apartment building, or it'll say commercial.
that's actually a good point.
And just look at what it actually says, right? Like what is occupying the premise, and it'll say it on the policy. It should say it on there.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, then just ask the agent, send them an email. Hey, I want to make sure
Because we're-
that this, and this.
We're mixed use here.
Right.
With apartments
Yeah.
on top.
Exactly.
We got real estate on one side.
So, right.
Now we're going to have a kitchen on the right.
Right.
You
So
know,
it'll tell
it's
you.
mixed use.
Yeah, so it'll tell you like, okay, cool. So first floor, it'll say kitchen, commercial kitchen, second floor, residential unit or dwelling or
like
what
this
have
guy.
you.
I got another
I might have to
question.
fire
Finish your point. Is there a way for like the tenant, like so residential, they have renters insurance. Can that guy have insurance that kind of like covers all that, so we don't have to pick up that?
Yeah, like the commercial tenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should. So that's why. Look, I don't have. So for Pocket World, I don't have a commercial space yet. My own like brick and mortar.
Yeah,
yet,
yeah,
right.
okay.
So if I use a commercial kitchen, or if I use my home business, like my home location, I can take care of it from there. And my only policy that I may need is general liability for when I go to another location.
We're talking about the empanadas?
But we're talking about the empanadas now.
Oh,
But
okay.
now for this business, a commercial business that you have in your premise, I would recommend that they have their own policy that covers not only the premise liability for their business, but their property too, right?
Yeah.
If there's a fire because of the upstairs tenant and their property is damaged,
Yeah.
they could come after you. They could
They
say,
could,
hey,
yeah.
look, I didn't know that there was going to be this fire and it's not my fault. So
What about vice versa? I'm saying vice versa.
Vice versa,
like,
same. Yeah,
like,
same.
so it's like, hey, we're taking care of the outside. You gotta, if something happens on your side, it's on you.
right.
Yeah, but we should look into the policy and see if they know there's a restaurant next door.
Yeah.
Is if something happens to them and we catch on fire, we have some damage, then the insurance guy, hey, you didn't tell me there was a tamale next door.
Yeah.
Sorry, not paying.
Very easy for that to be the
Long story
excuse.
short, it's like everybody wants to find a way not to pay you.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
Unfortunately, yeah. That's what these carriers are paying. I mean, they have attorneys that get paid for that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
look at where are the
We'll
gaps
look
here and how
into it.
can we not pay
Yeah.
it?
Well, also like what kind of insurance are they covering for their business and the work that they're doing?
Yeah.
And just like having renters at residential, like you're renting an apartment out,
Yeah.
they want to have renters insurance. What are they covering too? And like, what is their liability when you're talking about cooking too? Like we do commercial inspections as well.
Nice.
So when you're doing that, there's a lot of regulations that go into a commercial
right.
kitchen, right?
Just to open a commercial kitchen, there's all these like regulations. If you're
Yeah.
in Chicago, there are certain rules that you have to meet to be able to start your commercial kitchen or open
Right.
the business, just to open the doors. Now, the next piece is how am I covered? Or how are they showing me proof? Listen, you being the owner, they
Greg
could-
keeps looking at me
like, hey man, do we have this?
he's
Look.
looking at me like I'm the.
Look, and you could just ask them, hey, give me a certificate of insurance. I recently insured a building where the restaurant didn't have their own policy.
Okay.
Right. So the guy had the building and he's like, does my tenant need? Yeah, they should. Yes.
Yes.
They should get their own policy. That way, you can make it a requirement. It's fine. And so sure enough,
Okay.
that's it. You just ask them and let's
That's
get this
good
going
info.
before you start.
But listen, I want to talk about the empanadas. now.
Man, please, let's change this
What
up.
is going on?
you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Insurance guy.
Insurance.
I think you're Colombian, right?
Yeah, from Cali,
Colombiano
Colombia, yeah.
Insurance.
Yeah.
Empanadas.
Empanadas.
So
yeah.
first of all, question number one, because all the Latinos I talk with, and my kids are half Latinos.
Okay,
My wife
yep.
is from Costa Rica,
Right. Right.
and everybody makes their empanadas better,
Yes.
right? If I talk to somebody
Yes.
from Mexico, oh, my empanadas better. I go,
Yes.
Dorian, my empanadas better.
Yes.
So I want to hear from the Colombiano here.
Yeah. So empanadas caleñas
Calientes.
are the best empanadas in the world.
That's it. It's on record.
And that's it's here. No, I mean
Meat.
there's
Oh, with
so
meat,
it's meat.
chicken?
Yeah, so I do chicken potato and I do plantain and cheese. So I brought you guys some chicken and potato.
Okay.
And
Appreciate it.
the reason why it's Pocket World though is because that's the point is to incorporate empanadas from all over the world, because there are different empanadas, or we're calling them pockets,
Yeah.
that have incorporate different flavors.
Correct.
They use different masa.
Correct.
Right. So they use different stuffing.
Correct.
They cook them. Some are deep fried. Some are oven.
I think the Latino, nothing wrong, right? But I think
Right.
you guys, the whole South America, stole it from us because we make the calzone.
Yeah.
Panzerotti, calzone. We had the original idea,
That's
just
fine.
FYI.
Yeah, that's fine. So
You know?
that's part of. So we'll make that part of the Pocket World too, so that way there's no bias and there's
Okay,
no.
look at it.
You guys are going to be brought in as consultants now.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. We need to know.
I've already talked to Edwin about pierogies.
Oh, you got the pierogi.
Right,
So,
right.
Man, pocket world all around.
Well, that's the goal. The goal is, I'm starting with Colombian empanadas because that's what I know.
Yeah,
My
of course.
grandma taught me. She
Abuelita.
Abuelita. Yeah, abuelita que en paz descanse, Amparo. She, may her rest in power. She's amazing woman who came here to Chicago to be with me because she knew that I was going through some tough times, and she's like, my little boy is there
Wow.
alone, so I need to be there
No
with
way.
him. Yeah, so she gets her visa, she comes out here,
Wow.
and she runs out of money suddenly. She's like, mijo, I'm out of money. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to, I mean, why is she telling me this? You know, I'm like, what, maybe 15, 16 at the time. And she's like, no, I'm letting you know because I'm going to be selling empanadas and I want you to tell your friends.
No way.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay, fine. So I tell some people from, you know, the office and just start talking to different people.
Yeah.
I got 2 orders for her, right? So I'm like, hey, I got 2 orders. She's like, okay, how many? I'm like, oh, this lady wants 20. This person wants 15. She's like, okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So the next day, sure enough, she's like, here you go. Take these. These are for the people. So, you know, go take them, get the money, give it to her. I see her with a wad of cash. You know, so this lady had nothing. The next thing you know, she just has this wad of money, and she buys me like my jacket with this money because I needed a jacket for the winter too.
She's selling empanadas
just like that. She's just like here, different country, has no idea, you know. But
they were good too.
If
they're good, people buy it.
Well, that's what it was. She taught me the recipe, and you know, I never forgot. I never forgot the recipe since that day. So I knew I wanted to pay homage to her. I just didn't know how. And the past 3 years, it's been evolving to.
Are you doing more like online? Like you have a brick and mortar?
Friends and family. No, I do them from home. Just friends and family.
You have a website or something?
I have pocketworld.com. So www.pocketworld.com.
Maybe angel investor.
I mean, yeah. we can talk. We can talk. We can talk. Yeah, we can talk. So
you need some good salesperson.
You know, I'm gonna need a good team.
Sales, you know?
Yeah. Well, I believe that the secret sauce is the team and the people that you surround yourself with. So yeah, I mean, I'd love having these kinds of conversations with people that
we're gonna take them to a big store chain.
I mean, so I want to, the Pocket World factory have, you know, Pocket World locations in different airports.
Why
so
not?
That way, you know, people from different parts of the world can try different pockets or different empanadas from different parts of the world. I mean, this is a big idea. You know, there's...
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's better than the insurance.
I'll take it.
When it comes to food, right, you could talk. Right? Yeah. He's fine. Man, that insurance was getting scared.
Hey, no,
Yeah, nothing good coming out of that conversation.
I'm sorry.
A lot of sleepless nights with that conversation.
I'm sorry.
Pocket World, man.
Yeah, no, I like the name too. It's kind
Thank
of,
you.
it's
I like
more, it's like, just you don't know you kind of don't know what it is when you say
Right.
Pocket World, so
Right.
it's kind of intriguing. Like,
Thank you.
what does that mean? Okay, cool. And what is it? It's not. It's kind of leaves everything.
Plus, his
open.
focus is like it's not only starting with the Colombian empanadas, but he's thinking about like, hey, maybe I have a Mexican empanada.
Yeah, he's keeping the door
yeah.
It's very versatile.
It's all, if you
Right.
think about it,
Everyone has their own version. So I was talking to my wife. She's
Everybody has their own
Lebanese.
version.
She's
It's
half
interesting,
Lebanese.
though.
Yeah, she's half Lebanese, and they have Lebanese meat pies. That is like their Lebanese meat pies, and that's their version of an empanada. And I'm like,
Yeah, it is.
so that's really. I mean,
they stole it from us too.
right?
No,
but I love this. But I love
the
this
Romans,
discussion.
you know, the Romans, right?
Right.
The
But
Romans invented the Pocket World.
the Roman Empire. Oh my God. Well, no, but I love the debate that this creates. You know, because I want that. I want people to wonder, wait, what is the best pocket? What is the best empanada?
Yeah.
You know, where does it come from? Let's try all these different ones to get an
Man,
idea.
I like this.
So yeah, that's.
I mean, I think it's just a beautiful vision too, right? It just like it starts just like from your heart and like your experience, but it's also like, I mean, food is so big in cultures, right? It
is
just like
huge,
you don't
man.
go anywhere. Like I was in Italy last year and just like how
You liked it?
I loved it.
Oh, yeah?
Like, absolutely
What part did you go to?
So we went to Florence, Rome, and Sorrento.
Nice. All the
yeah.
bad parts.
Sicily is if I
I'm being biased.
No, they're all good. No, those are all great.
But you're just like food is such a big part of culture.
It's huge.
You know, and even like there's so many different pockets in America. It's just like you could taste so many different cultures just within America.
Even in America, it's big. It's big. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, if you go to South America and Europe, it's even bigger.
Right.
You know, our food is huge. You know, we've been around a long time. So
Right.
that's and that's probably why too. It's tradition, and your grandma tells your great grandma.
Yeah, migrations. I mean, just different
Yeah.
things, different cultures
Yeah.
colliding. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like food tells a story, right?
Yep,
Too,
yep, I
and it
agree.
connects people together. And I think that just like when Edwin told me about his vision for this, it just gets me so.
No, I like it. Are you doing social media on it?
I have some. Yeah. So I mean, really
Like, what kind of
basic
social media?
Facebook. I'm on
You haven't
Facebook.
popped on my page.
No, I'm on Facebook right now. I literally just started the Facebook page.
Okay.
This is recently is when I made the decision that this is what I'm going to make my.
We gotta talk about the pocket world. For
Like number
I like
one
the
thing.
idea. Maybe we can angel
Thank you.
investor. And,
I appreciate. Well,
step
this
up his
is,
game with that.
hey, I
social
mean,
media.
there's a lot. There's a lot.
So
that's
you
needed
said
for
these
it.
are frozen.
So they're
now.
frozen. Yeah, right now I have them frozen. I do catering has been my majority,
Okay.
like kind of like, hey, making cash to see like,
Yes.
can I
See
can
where it
this,
goes?
Yeah, like can this work? Like, can I supplement my income with this? Was
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
of
came to
course.
my mind, and
course.
seeing that it's possible,
feedback is-
and seeing the feedback, the great feedback that I've gotten. I mean, going to different events and having people taste them and look at me and say,
My advice, if
made
you
this?
do, if you just keep doing what you're doing right, and people taste it, then it's going to be word of mouth. But maybe document all that.
Yeah,
Put it
yeah.
in a video. Show
Yeah,
how
I
you
like
make
that.
it. Put it
Yeah,
on social media.
yeah.
Do some Target ads.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I
it's
like that.
People love food.
Yeah.
If I make a little pasta, I get more click and views on making the pasta than me talking about real estate.
Right.
I don't care what I do. Real
Those
estate, like,
are,
ah.
those are your videos I pay most
Yeah,
attention. I
in fact,
love
everybody pays
pasta.
attention more like me making some kind of food.
No,
I'm
that's
just like,
real. Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
it's like
Yeah, I
a
appreciate
no-brainer.
that. Yeah.
Like I almost want to come over and do the empanadas with you. You know,
I like that.
show you some of the Roman skills. But anyhow, but are you? So I know you told me you're Colombian.
Yeah.
Have you been in Colombia?
Oh my God, yes. I go every year.
do?
I go every year. We have a
Wow.
property there that we just
You even have a
renovated.
property?
We have a property in Cali.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, we renovated the property. We have an Airbnb there, official.
it, man.
And we, my mom is there, father's there, aunts, uncles. Every time I go
And you
there, I
take
meet
your
a new
wife there
family
too,
member. I
right?
take my wife, I take my daughter, we all go.
And they
Yeah,
like it?
they love it.
Impose
They
it.
don't want to leave. They don't want to come back when we go there.
That is pretty awesome.
It's a beautiful place to be. We love.
You relax, you chill.
Oh my goodness.
Re-energize, right?
Absolutely. I think being with family
Yeah.
and just being around, just not so much like the familiarity, but learning new things about your family
Yeah.
and growing with your family and
It's
like
big.
just it's so huge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I come back really that's where my energy
Yeah.
comes from, and I want to be
That's
there
awesome.
full time. I'd love to be there full time.
That's awesome.
As we develop, we'll see what happens. But yeah.
And you're doing real estate, like you're doing some real estate too.
Some-
If you
yeah,
think about
yeah,
it, you're doing
yeah,
it.
that's true. Yeah, that's
How's
true.
your Airbnb business down there?
So I'll say it's slow.
Yeah.
It's honestly slow because the exchange rate, right?
Okay.
It's like, for $1 is 4,000 Colombian pesos, right? So if someone's coming from here to go over there, our Airbnb location is like, it's a no-brainer. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom
How
for
much you
like
have it listed, if I could
$45 a night right now.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
40
so for some, that's the thing. It's like, out there you're making decent money if you live out there, but for here, you're not making.
It's not. Yeah, don't retire and open up. Airbnbs in Cali, Colombia. That's
Yeah.
not going to make you. But for me, it's like a long-term game.
Yeah.
And
but for you guys, like the country in general, you correct me if I'm
Yes,
wrong.
no, please,
You
yeah.
guys going through a transition, right? You had like, economy crash,
Absolutely.
inflation,
Absolutely. I
bad
mean,
politics.
absolutely.
So if in the long run, 10 years from now, if things change, and then it could be
I
where
think
you got
so.
more visitors, you got more Americans
I
coming.
think so. I
could be a
see
totally
it.
different-
I
yeah.
see it already. I mean, now I go there and I see people speaking German at the Cali Zoo.
Yeah.
And that's new,
Yeah.
right? Or like I'm seeing some people from Wales,
Wales, yeah.
buying property.
Colombia, people always like Colombia, like anywhere in the world. Like when I even lived in Italy, people were like, "Oh, Colombiano," you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's interest-
there is intrigue.
You guys
There-
have like that
absolutely.
culture and
It's
tradition.
the food, the music, the salsa in Cali, the nightlife in Cali.
Yeah.
I mean, people are so hospitable. It has a bad rap, I think, because there's a tumultuous past. Like there's a lot of things that happen, and I'm not going to deny that makes sense. But it's
Yeah.
changed now.
Yeah.
I think with social media.
Do you get upset like if you see? Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
If you
go
see
ahead.
like a movie, right, and they're talking bad about Colombia, like, and I'll tell you my feedback
Yeah.
because I'm Italian.
Please do, yeah.
And Hollywood loved saying Italians are mafiosi.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Maybe there's a little percentage, but not all of us.
No, right. I do get upset because
Right.
it's immediately the thought is, oh, I remember people asking me, oh, Pablo Escobar. Oh, you're from Colombia, Pablo Escobar. Oh yeah, I love Narcos.
Yeah.
Like when someone
it's like,
when
come
someone
on,
asks me where
yeah.
I'm from and the first thing they say is I love Narcos,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, dude, like
Yeah.
what is your impression? What is your impression? What is your impression of like where I'm from, And so yes, it does upset me, and that's what Hollywood is doing, though.
I
That's
know.
what like the media does.
You know how
So.
it goes. They try to find a niche and they're trying to make money on it. That's
Well,
all.
right.
That's all.
And
It's just
people
a
are
game.
right. People are still buying up land there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of opportunity there. It's Cali has a population of like 2.5 million. It's a big city. It's not a small city. So there's
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, cool,
It's
cool.
awesome. Good
Yeah.
story, man.
Yeah, nice.
Colombiano here in the house.
Come on through. Whenever
Yeah.
you want to come, you're more than
That's
welcome.
cool.
We're big soccer fans.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so we know a lot of the Colombian stars in the past.
Okay, yeah. My uncle played for the national team of Colombia.
Seriously?
Yeah, my uncle played El Barbie. His name is El Barbie Ortiz. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he's like old school.
How long ago?
Oh man, he was
Back
in
in
the he was like in the Olympics with Pele. So like,
Oh, you're talking way
wow.
back.
yeah,
Okay.
he's
Dang,
like
but
back.
it's huge.
Yeah, it is pretty big. So he played
Like,
for.
it's pretty big.
It is.
really
It is. It is. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
national team.
Yeah, he played for the national team.
Yeah,
he played
that's
for
not-
he played for America. The Colombian team. So he played for America, and he played for Deportivo Cali.
Okay.
And then he made it to the
awesome.
national team. Played in the Olympics. He played a couple games in the
story.
Olympics.
So I have a question. How does the Colombian guy know this white?
Oh.
yeah, usually.
In a good way. How do you guys like?
That's great.
You told your story about being friends,
Right.
same town, towns, but how do you guys?
Well, I mean, honestly,
How do you know?
like Edward's my best friend.
pretty
We
awesome.
actually just did a weekend retreat together, just
Wow.
like talking about our goals and whatnot. But we met at like a networking group, and we just kind
For real?
of hit it off, right?
Wow.
And we do a lot of stuff like just it's not just about business for us. It's
Yeah.
about family. It's about
Yeah.
how we're pushing each other,
Yeah.
just to be our best selves. And just like I see Edwin's passion,
Nice.
right? And then they immediately drew me in, too. And it just like I guess I'll let him talk about what he's
No, it's cool. No.
sees in me. Yeah.
No, I appreciate. No, you know what, Tim? My relationship with Tim is funny. How I love how it evolved because it started with conflict. Our relationship started with conflict, and
Nice.
and I appreciated how he took the conflict and how he accepted the conflict, and we got to clarity from the conflict. It wasn't like, let me hold this. And I'll give you, we were in a networking group,
Okay.
like he mentioned,
Okay.
and we had someone joining the group, and we had
Okay.
two different people in one seat, and there was a choice between these two different people.
Oh, wow.
Right? And this seat affected me in my business.
In a way, okay.
So I was very stern on my stance of who
Yeah.
I wanted in that
Yeah,
seat.
I get it.
And everyone was like, no, Edwin, this is who we want in that seat. I'm like, I don't care who you want. This is who I want in that seat. And you can make the decision that you want to make, but this is really going to drive
Yeah.
how I move forward in this chapter.
I get it.
And, it was this moment where Tim wanted to talk to me about it. He came in with the intention like, all right, you're going to understand where I'm coming from. And this is, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Now I understand where I'm coming from. And this is why I'm not budging. And it was this moment where he just looked at me and he's like, I just want us to like be friends and to connect. I'm like, yeah, me too. And my business is very important.
Yeah, of
To me.
course. Feed your family.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that clarity and that understanding I think it's rare to find between people where someone can kind of like relate and say, yeah, I see your point. I have your back because this makes sense to me. Let me like forget about my stuff and let me see about just the picture that's here and how this can affect the future of like what we're building.
That's pretty cool.
And so, yeah, it's an awesome
I mean,
relationship.
you need people who are going to challenge you, right? Like in any, whether it's business or life, right? You need someone who's not just going to be like, okay, Tim, like I completely agree with you,
Yeah,
right?
no, I
There is-
agree.
There is that conflict, right? And like honestly, like
I totally understand about the challenge thing. I was challenged by Frank too.
Yeah.
I met him. I was like broke. He's saving money. I'm like, how this guy's doing it? I'm like, I'm not understanding. And then I challenged myself and I grew little by little.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, those are the best relationships. I mean, you guys have been together for a while now,
Oh, a
too,
long
right?
time, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it's like you also build trust by speaking your mind, right? You
Yeah.
have to
Absolutely.
you have to be truthful about how you're feeling, and it has to work for both people. And like just having the level of respect where you could actually just be
Correct.
like, I'm going to be completely honest
I
about my
agree.
stance here,
I agree.
and seeing the other person for that.
I agree. And we're all different, right? It's like you accept the person how they are. Everybody has their own ways. You make a big deal about it, and you meet in the middle.
Yeah.
kind of like what you guys did.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I think that's great partnership. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, this empanada thing's a
I love how you yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, all right. Yeah.
never know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's talk.
bad way,
Yeah,
just
for sure.
one.
No, I'll take it. Yeah, let's talk.
Depends, you go nationwide, I just
never
need
know.
like a couple
I
percent.
think, yeah, okay. Yeah. I like
Royalty?
That, I like
Are you interested in royalty?
that. Talking percentages already and everything. Okay, I like it.
I'm not giving you free money.
I like it.
Greg cuts to the chase.
Yeah, that's good.
like,
that's
let's
good. That's
get
good.
right
I'm
down
about
to
that.
it,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
love that. I love that. I love that.
Tim, I got a question. So
Yeah.
we kind of touched on, like some of the issues we had for inspectors. Now, is there a flip side to that with realtors? I could see that being a. I can see that being I deal with
question.
realtors, and some of those are
The
rough.
realtor back.
What I
You
used
know?
to do. What I used to do.
No, I'm gonna like if someone
Can't
just
make
like
much.
okay. No, you can.
Watch out. Watch
No,
out.
I'm just saying like I'm sure you've had some people that are
There's this
unreasonable.
one realtor. We'll just disguise his name as Craig. No. But like, so what I used to do inspections, like, personally, I could tell within 5 minutes whether the realtor cared or not, right?
Okay.
Yeah, like it just, we were talking about energy,
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
I think that's important. Like, I
believe
have
it.
so much respect for realtors who do the job right,
Yeah.
right? Because it's so important.
Yeah, 100%.
And like, I like it. It just like
Just caring, right?
Yeah, I mean, just caring,
It
right?
could be
That's-
anything
that's
else. Like
the
you could be like at the dollar store. Like you gotta care, even if it's a little simple transaction. Care about the other person on
Yeah.
the other side. It's not all about the commission. It's not about like, the money. So that a lot of people sometimes slack that.
Yeah.
What have you noticed, Tim? Like, what's like an example of an agent that
Yeah,
doesn't care?
that's
Oh, they'll like immediately. They're not engaged with their client. They're just letting their client roam. They're like on their laptop or doing something else, right? They're downplaying issues as they come, right?
No, that's not good.
Yeah, it's just like having a good realtor who like cares and like wants to see
Yeah.
the best. Like we all like, I see it like we're all on the same team, right? We want what's best for the client.
I think what happened, everybody has different. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think everybody has different business model.
Yeah.
Their business model, maybe they're like, it's a transaction. It's just like they're selling cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
The car salesperson, you go to car, do you really maintain a relationship? Does he send you a Christmas card?
Oh, yeah.
Does he touch with you?
Right,
No.
right,
See
right.
one time, you're out the door. That's it. They don't care about you. They have no sense of relationship. I think us, we're more about relationship.
Right.
And I think the relationship thing could work on any job. From the empanadas job to the car salesperson to real estate to inspector, any job.
Right.
It's huge. Back in the day, it used to be all about relationship. Then at one point, I don't know, it changed. People got busy.
Yeah.
But I feel like now it's coming back.
Yeah,
People do care about the relationship.
And honestly, like a lot of the successful agents are all about the relationships,
Yeah,
right?
that's
It's just
true.
like, I think
There's
some
a
people-
reason why there's.
Yeah, exactly. And not all of them, but like I would say the majority, like some of the top agents are the nicest people you meet and really care.
I feel like the ones that are like, you could make it. Don't get me wrong. You could be an agent, all about the numbers, all about analytic, or how to get the business, the sales. Yeah, you could do good, but 1, 2, 3 years. Then you're going to be gone. You're going to burn out because you're not going to have the relationship business. The relationship business is going to give you more longevity.
Right.
Yeah.
Because business comes and you're not like,
You're
like-
getting those referrals at the end
Exactly.
of the day, too. I mean, same thing with us. When we have a really good relationship with a realtor, they're referring us to other realtors,
Yeah.
right? At the end of the day, because they're like, these guys are solid.
They're on
we
top
have
of
a
it.
good. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, yeah, because I think going back to certain sales, like our business, what I tell even people, it's like you can't put like there's so much. It's so easy to cancel. So easy to cancel.
Yeah.
So it's like if you push, it's like you might get them to be on board today. Tomorrow they're canceling.
You also got to build that trust.
Yeah. So
right?
then you're losing the trust.
Like I literally
Yeah,
like
and all that.
Yeah, it's like I was in the furniture. I'm trying to upgrade some of my furniture after many years. I like to put my money in properties, but once in a while you gotta make the girls happy. So I go to the furniture store. Literally, I walked out. I was 2.5 hours with this guy. I had one little thing that I wanted to one goal, and he like fake. He did like the fatigue sales, I believe I call it. He's like, yeah, don't worry, no problem. I'm like, okay. Then we go through it 2.5 hours, and he can't deliver. I'm like, listen, man, I told you that was the whole point of the whole thing. Oh, he started like I lost completely the trust.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, man, I was real with you. I'm in sales, like whatever. I don't consider myself in sales, but I'm in a relationship world. Like, hey, when I trust people, that's it. I got their back all the way.
Right.
And I'm like, look, I walked out. The wife, I go home like, oh, you got to give the guy a chance. I'm like, listen, I'm sorry, but he doesn't deserve my money.
No.
I can't trust him anything. I'll just pick up the phone and just order online.
Or like the
Same.
pressure sales, like I had someone, try to say, hey, this is the only time we're going to have this discount, or this
Yeah.
is the only time. And it's like, hey, don't pressure
real.
me. Just
Yeah.
just be honest about this. Like, I know that's not the case. I know people that do this, and
Yeah.
I just reached out to them right now to ask, and that's not the case right now.
I
So
think the more authentic you are, the better it is.
absolutely.
Especially these days, like,
Hey, well, you gotta be good either way. Like, you want it, you don't want, whatever you want. You
Right.
want to do it, you don't want to do
Right,
it, whatever.
right.
It doesn't,
It's
I
okay.
don't want to use the word doesn't matter to me, but it's up to you. You want to do it, okay. You don't, it's
Right.
It's care, right?
Yeah.
Like going back to care, just like care about the other person, right? And
Yeah.
the business is gonna come. at the
Absolutely.
end of the day, right?
I agree.
I mean, I don't feel good like if I'm not being honest about something too, and I will tell someone when they don't need a service, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, or let's wait out. If they want a
Absolutely.
mold test, wait until you actually have the inspection before you pay that money, because it's
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't want them spending more than they have to get a good inspection, get the services they need at the end of the day. So.
Sometimes Tim will care a little bit too much and kill the deal. Nah, I'm joking. We like.
That's good.
I've heard
Nah,
that.
we understand. We understand. And no, we're all about listening. We got to do the right thing. What's right? That's
yeah.
it.
The worst thing you
Money-
want is a phone call at the end, like, oh, you missed this, missed that, and then everyone's unhappy.
Yeah.
It's like,
what happens, money will come. Like, you got to look at the long term, right? This is a long game.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes people don't see it. They're like, oh my God, I lost the deal. I'm not making money now. But you got to look at the long run.
Right.
Because then
Yeah.
6 months from now, you might have 3 deals at the same time.
Right.
And the reason is because back then you didn't sweat that deal that
Yeah.
you lost.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? So that's it.
Yeah. It's abundance, right? Having that, hey, there's enough out there for you, right?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
doing the right thing, right?
There's plenty.
It's when you get into like, okay, everything's tight. It's just like, okay, I mean, the market right now is not great, right? I feel like everyone's tightening up, but there's, so much to be thankful for.
Yeah.
For,
Hey,
out there.
look, right now, we're doing podcasts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a nice sunny day. A little cold, but
Yeah.
No, it's
But I
okay.
mean, like,
It's a good time to be alive. Yeah, it's a great time to be alive.
We're the best
Yeah.
time ever to be
Yeah,
alive. There's no,
yeah,
especially in the United States, there's no war. We're not, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's nothing.
Absolutely.
We're eating. We're actually, even if the poorest person, you could still find a way to find some food.
Well, there is. I think we're in a good. We have an amazing opportunity right now to tap into so many different elements of our creativity.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. That's exciting to be able to do this, right?
agree.
And like how that can expand. And even with Pocket World, it was most recently where I'm like, wait, like I can do this. This is different. And I'm thinking, what will people think? What will this? But it's like, you know what? No, this is a
Yeah.
great time to be alive. Like this is where I could like follow my passions, and it's easy to follow my passions, right? I could share them with people. I can get
100%.
feedback, and so there's we have
And
a
you
great
can't care about what
opportunity.
people care.
Absolutely
People, like,
not. No, absolutely
you know what I mean?
not. No,
You gotta
absolutely
do your
not.
thing.
Right. Agreed.
That's all.
But if
Agreed.
one person, sees this and gets inspired by you, like how cool is that, right? And
Yeah, I agree.
just that we
Yeah.
have that platform.
Yeah, I've met a lot of insurance agents that they're pretty like I look at policies and that is all I do for a living. I mean, they're just like really tied in, and okay, that's great,
That's
but it's
good
like,
too, yeah.
hey, what do you care about? Like, what else besides that? This is a paper that you're selling to someone in a promise, and that's cool. And how else can you tap and connect with the world? So
tell us, where they find you.
First, you can find us at www.homeinspectiongeeks.com. Our phone number is 773-242-93. 9358.
Can they find you on social as well?
Yeah, social media. So Home Inspection Geeks at Instagram.
And we'll have it up too.
Yeah, we'll put that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Facebook and whatnot too. And you can follow me personally on Facebook. I post a lot of stuff there.
cool. Yeah. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I have content on there. I also have some videos for contractors on YouTube under Walking with Purpose, and I have my Instagram, which is that's dedicated to Pocket World. But I also have my TikTok, which is Win More Talk, where I do scary stories, where I just
Insurance claims?
Insurance claims. Yeah, I just kind of give I show a clip and I talk about what the insurance can be for that specific scenario. Thank you.
All right. Well, yeah.
All right,
Right.
I think that's it. Right.
It's a wrap. Number 20. So
Number 20.
Awesome.
It It was really good.
Yeah, no, thanks guys for coming.
Oh,
Really
you're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
This is great.
And
Thanks
thanks
for
for all
having
that
us.
insight on the insurance. Even though it's hard to hear, but you got something you have to hear.
I don't think Frank's gonna sleep tonight.
Yeah, I'll be.
You definitely. Anyways, guys, it was nice seeing everybody. I mean, we didn't see you guys.
Thank you.
But anyway, thanks for coming to the podcast. Appreciate it, Tim. Appreciate it, Edwin.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Frank, have a good one. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it'll be the
Christmas,
last
everyone.
one for the year. Ciao, ciao.
Awesome.